Hello and good evening. You're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Hafiz Marzukhi. The government has proposed a mandatory 2% Employees Provident Fund or EPF contribution rate on foreign workers. Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim says that the rate is lower than the initial 12% proposal so as to not burden the employers.
So we kept it at 2%, which is very, very minimal. Well, the initial proposal was 12%. And the Cabinet did consider the appeal by the chambers, so we just kept it at 2%. And we will stay on some time until things are much better than to earn at Asilo, register hundreds of millions or billions of profit that we will increase to 4%. But for now, we keep it at 2% and let us move with that sort of a decision. There's no worry about having it cumulative.
In Budget 2025, Anwar announced plans to mandate EPF contributions for all foreign workers in phases. EPF expects this to benefit over 2 million foreign workers.
Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim denies claims that the basic electricity tariff in Peninsular Malaysia will increase by 14% in the second half of the year. However, the Prime Minister confirms that a tariff adjustment will occur, but assures it will remain manageable and not burden the public.
It's not 14%, no. The 6-month review is based on the current price. So I do think it would be, to a large extent, cumbersome or disadvantage to the community. But we're prepared to listen. The decision is to me something which needs to be done because prices has to rise according to the capacity in the price at the particular period.
He explained that the increase is necessary to fund key national priorities including education, healthcare, infrastructure and digital transformation. The new tariff is set for implementation on July 1st, 2025.
Waiting times at government primary care clinics have been reduced from 3 hours to just 30 minutes. Health Minister Dato Sri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad says this improvement is due to the digitalization of key healthcare services.
The Health Ministry had planned to implement its digital transformation agenda across all healthcare facilities nationwide in the next 4 to 5 years. This includes reviewing existing digital systems at the Ministry, formulating a new digitalization strategy in line with current technological advancements, and ensuring the effective implementation of planned initiatives. Zulkifli also said the number of clinics under his ministry have increased from 107 to 159 as of last year, with more to come in 2025.
Home Minister Dato Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail says the recent shooting of 5 Indonesians by Malaysian maritime officers could lead to a broader probe into drug or firearms trafficking. He confirmed that all 5 were undocumented migrants. Police have also arrested a man suspected of being involved in migrant trafficking.
Semakin kita menyiasat, kita tak menolak. Berdasar pada pattern siasatan kes dalam situasi yang serupa, ianya boleh membawa kepada dibuka ketasiasatan berkait dengan penyeludupan dadah, berkait dengan penyeludupan senjata, berkait dengan penyeludupan ini tadi smuggling of migrant kan, itu dah dibuka. Kita tak menolak kemungkinan dibuka siasatan nanti berasaskan kepada seksyen-seksyen lain.
6 Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency officers involved in the Tanjung Ru Banting shooting are on leave pending investigations. 1 Indonesian was reportedly killed and 4 others were injured in the January 24th shooting as they attempted to leave Malaysia illegally.
The Sessions Court dismissed a preliminary objection raised by Zain Rayyan Abdul Matin's parents, who argued that the child neglect charge against them was defective. Judge Shahliza Warnoh says the court also finds no element in the charge that suggests the accused have been denied a proper defense.
The trial was initially scheduled to commence at 9 a.m. this morning but was delayed due to the defence's submission of a preliminary objection before the proceedings began. Zaim Ikhwan Zahari and his wife Ismanira Abdul Manaf, both 30, pleaded not guilty in the Sessions Court on June 13 last year to neglecting 6-year-old Zain Ryan in a manner likely to cause him physical harm. Zain Ryan was reported missing on December 5, 2023, and his body was discovered in a stream near his home at apartment Idaman, Damansara Damai, the following day.
We'll go for a short break. Stay with us.
Kerap menggaruk kulit kepala disebabkan keluh mumur, masalahnya lebih mendalam. Gunalah Head and Shoulders menembusi 5 lapisan untuk membasmi keluh mumur dan kegatalan. Bebas keluh mumur sehingga 100%. Head and Shoulders diuji secara dermatologi.
Merentasi Laut Cina Selatan hingga ke puncak Kinabalu, kami bawakan laporan ringkas, padat dan komprehensif. 5 minit AWANI Sabah Plus setiap Khamis dan Jumaat 8.25 malam hanya di Astro AWANI.
ASEAN should avoid being drawn into the US-China rivalry, which has expanded beyond trade conflicts. Professor Danny Kwah, Lee Ka-shing Professor of Economics and Dean of the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy at NUS, says ASEAN must shape its own development narrative, one that steers clear of competition and confrontation.
America feels that China's rise will continue to advance the emergence of a hostile hegemon whose ascendancy will sharply constrain America's freedom of actions in this region. That's a story that's got nothing to do with trade. It's about great power competition. We in ASEAN need to establish a narrative for ourselves that takes us out of that. And if we can actually try and help the two understand each other better, so they no longer view each other in that confrontational way.
The U.S. administration under U.S. President Donald Trump imposed a 10% tariff on Chinese goods beginning tomorrow. This move was part of a broader strategy that also included 25% tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico.
U.S. President Donald Trump is ramping up tariff threats against the European Union, imposing tariffs on goods from Canada, Mexico and China. Stock markets slumped today as fears of a broader trade war intensified over the weekend.
Trump said new tariffs on the EU would definitely happen, reiterating previous complaints on the large U.S. trade deficit with the bloc. Trump's orders for a 25% import tax on goods from Canada and Mexico and 10% on goods from China are set to begin on Tuesday. The president has given various reasons for the tariffs, including border security, drug inflows, and trade deficits. In response, Mexico and Canada have vowed to impose their own levies, with Canada's Finance Department publishing a list of U.S. imports that will be subject to a 25% retaliatory tariff. Trump has said he would speak to Canada and Mexico's leaders later on Monday. Meanwhile, China is planning to pursue legal action, saying the tariffs were a serious violation of World Trade Organization rules.
Taiwan has pledged support for companies planning to relocate to the U.S. following President Donald Trump's new tariffs. The Economy Ministry says it will provide essential information for affected firms, including possible U.S. states for investment, local laws and assistance in finding partners.
Taiwan's companies, which are key producers of semiconductors and electronic parts, are particularly vulnerable to the new tariffs as many operate factories in Mexico and China. The U.S. president has also threatened additional tariffs on imported chips, further raising concerns. In a statement outlining measures to assist impacted businesses, the Economy Ministry pledged support to help companies navigate the changes. It added that the Taiwanese government's Industrial Technology Research Institute branches in North America would actively promote research, development and manufacturing cooperation between US and Taiwanese firms. Financial markets in Taiwan reopened on Monday after the Lunar New Year holiday, with shares of tech companies operating in Mexico, including Foxconn and Qantas, seeing sharp declines.
Australian authorities has warned that a major flood risk will persist in the northeastern state of Queensland, despite torrential rain easing on Monday. The flooding, which has killed at least one person, has prompted evacuations and crocodile warnings as residents brace for more destruction.
Parts of Townsville, a popular coastal city of 200,000, have been declared a black zone. Authorities ordered 2,100 residents to evacuate over the weekend, though 10% refused. Floodwaters also washed away part of a concrete bridge, cutting off the state's main coastal road, while nearly 11,000 properties remain without power, with no restoration timeline. The Environment Department has warned residents to watch for crocodiles seeking calmer waters. Heavy rain is expected to continue for another 24 hours, with some areas set to receive up to 300 millimeters.
The 67th Annual Grammy Awards in Los Angeles honored the biggest achievements in music. Here are the standout winners and key moments from the night.
Beyoncé made history winning Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter, her first in the country genre.
I just feel very full and very honored. It's been many, many years. And I just want to thank the Grammys, every songwriter, every collaborator, every producer, all of the hard work. I want to dedicate this to Miss Martell, and I hope we just keep pushing forward, opening doors. God bless y'all. Thank you so much.
Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar dominated the night with 5 awards, including Record and Song of the Year for Not Like Us. Rising star and Pink Pony Club singer Chappelle Roan took home Best New Artist, taking the stage to demand livable wage for artists in her acceptance speech. While Sabrina Carpenter won Best Pop Vocal Album for Short and Sweet, with her song Espresso clinching the Best Pop Solo Performance Award. The award show also featured electrifying musical performances and powerful moments, including a tribute to Quincy Jones by Will Smith, Herbie Hancock and Stevie Wonder. A special segment also honored Los Angeles' resilience following recent wildfires, raising $7 million for relief efforts.
That wraps up this edition of AWANI Tonight. Thanks for watching. I'm Hafiz Marzukhi. Good night.